How's it going, everybody? My name is Matt, and welcome to Gates of the Library. Today, I wanted to just follow suit with a lot of other great booktubers and kind of hit the, you know, standard tag, I guess, when you start a booktube channel. And so, I want to, as you saw in the title, just do the booktube newbie tag. I wrote down some of the questions or I wrote down the questions from the other booktubers that I've seen that have done this tag. I don't know whose questions these are, but they're probably a culmination of several different channels. But we'll get right into it. Why did you start this booktube channel? Mostly for me, starting this booktube channel was to be able to give myself a creative outlet outside of my normal job, but also be able to talk about books and things that I like in the book space that I don't normally get to talk about with other people in my life, because I've got one or two friends that read sci-fi and fantasy, but not a lot, and we don't really talk about them in as much depth as I would want to. And so I see maybe doing some reading vlogs and some other things, but that's kind of why I started the channel. What are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? Okay, so I was thinking about this question, and mostly what I came up with really is I have a background in photography and video. My day job is short form documentary filmmaker for businesses and weddings. And so for me, this channel is a way to, I don't know, do something for myself and create something solely because I enjoy it or because I want to make something about it. And so I guess my perspective, coming from someone that works in story so much, uh, could be an interesting perspective to the booktube community. And I kind of forgot one other thing. I really only have been reading since 2010. Like, I could read. I learned to read in elementary school, but I never really got into reading for fun until I was um, like 24, 25. And so for the past 10 years, I've been kind of trying to find what I like and what I don't like, but also um, haven't been putting a lot of pressure on myself to read. And I want to make a video about the first book that I ever read for fun and why I love it and why it's still one of my favorites. But we'll get to that. The third question is, what are you most excited about for this new channel? I think it goes back to what I already kind of said in the other question. What I'm most excited about is just being able to engage with the community and learn new things about books, or just be a deeper part of the community and be able to offer my opinions and my thoughts and hear from other people their opinions, their thoughts. But yeah, that's what I'm most excited about, I guess. Why do you love reading? I love reading for uh, a couple of different reasons, but the main reason is escapism and not being able, or not having to look at a screen, or it kind of takes my ADHD brain and allows me to hyper focus on something that is productive and that makes me smarter and makes me think more, and that really exercises uh, that need to be doing something, but not something that just is distraction based, I guess. And the other reason is I want to be able to be a good example for my boys. I have a wife and two kids, and We've talked a lot about what we want for them growing up, and the big thing is we want them to love reading, because I didn't love reading growing up and I regret it. But to be able to have an example in the home uh, for them, and fortunately I've grown to love it myself. So that's a big reason why I love reading personally. So what book or series got you into reading? I kind of mentioned it earlier, but the first book I ever read for fun was The Road by Cormac McCarthy. And I'm planning on doing a reading vlog where I reread it, since it's the book that got me into reading at 24, 25. And it's something that I think I'll have a different perspective on now that I'm a dad. But yeah, that's the book that got me into reading. Um, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Now, I thought about this question too, because I've actually asked one of my favorite booktubers this question, but it was, what is some feedback on the content that you make, or how to make good content for booktube. And like, in the age of Twitter, you can kind of get in touch with anybody. Like, I reached out to Theo, a Rekindled Reader, and asked him, like, how do you continue to make good content for YouTube? What, drives that inspiration, that spark? And um, luckily, Theo's really nice and responded, and he's actually a subscriber to the channel already, and I'm grateful for that. But I think most booktubers and most authors even are really accessible nowadays with Twitter and social media. Um, what challenges do you think starting a booktube will What challenges do you think starting a booktube will be the hardest to overcome? I think for me, it's perfectionism and wanting my videos to have a level of quality and a level of production that I'm normally used to for my job. And so I am actually just kind of trying to limit myself and what I can set up, the things that I can do to make a video, and trying to see if I can be the most creative with a limited number of things, because I have like really expensive gear and things. So I'm trying to put myself in a box a little bit to do that. Um, when did you start reading? I started reading, like I said, at the age of 24, 25. Where do you read? I read a lot in bed. For some reason, I think that is the easiest for me. It is the place in my house, like I have two boys, like I said, is the quietest, or in my office. But I kind of like to keep the office just for work. But I read a lot in bed. What kind of books do you like to read? I like to read sci-fi and fantasy, but I like to read books that really talk about the human condition, and books that um, are really focused on the hardships of the characters and the struggles they have to go through, and the interpersonal relationships, and the thing within themselves that they have to like pull out of themselves. I really enjoy like that internal conflict, and the character development and character focus books. Um, like, I'm reading Dragon Maid right now, and I really love that the main character is autistic, and him having to uh, combat being autistic and being what the world needs him to be, and how they kind of conflict is really interesting. So the last question is, what does your book collection look like? Um, I don't know. We have a lot of books. A lot of books that I own are Christian theology based, but also I'm working on my science fiction and fantasy collection, trying to buy quality books, books that I either love and have read, or self-published books that I really want to support the author, or um, different things like that. I'm really trying to just buy quality. Like, you may have seen on my shorts, I recently bought Sleeping Giants, all three UK first edition hardcovers that were signed, because that was the first science fiction series that I completed and I loved. And so I'm just trying to, not have a gigantic collection. Both my wife and I love books, but I want to have a collection that is quality to me, and not just books for the sake of having books. But anyway, I'm really excited about this channel. I'm really excited about what we can do together, and the conversations that we can have. And if you have any thoughts, questions, ideas, anything you want to know about me other than the questions that I've already answered, go ahead and hit the comments, and I would love to talk about them. Anyway, I'd love for you to subscribe and see how far this journey goes. I'm excited about BookTube. I'm excited about making content. And like I said, I'm just really excited to engage in the community more than I have as a spectator for a long time, and a person that really just loves stories. So anyway, subscribe, like. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.